Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. Man, these are definitely scary times that we are living in. That is without a doubt. But I am feeling absolutely blessed. Let me tell you why, and I'm going to show you some things in a video. First of all, let me show you something about a pilot that I'm in tonight. This is amazing. We'll get to that. Hey guys, check this out. I'm at a pilot 9 o'clock at night. It's after 9 o'clock at night in Ohio. And look at all the empty spaces. Now you don't know what I'm talking about? Look at that. All those empty spaces. All that up front, empty spaces. Majority of reserved parking is empty. The parking lot is pretty small. Tanker going by. I was talking to the lady inside, and I was going, wow, I can't believe how few trucks there are out here. And she goes, yeah. For those that aren't essential, most of them have gone home or staying home. Only the ones that can still keep running are running. She goes, I sure hope it doesn't get worse. But this amazed me. We haven't had any problem finding parking till late at night anywhere the last few days. We stopped in a travel center last night on I-80. It was almost midnight and I was still finding plenty of pull-through parking. It's just crazy. It's crazy, folks. Hey people, let me kind of explain some of the reason why I feel so blessed. We're in a pilot parking lot and there is ambulances and fire rescue and everything coming into the parking lot here. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I hope everybody's okay. But let me explain to you why I feel absolutely blessed during these troubled times. I am so absolutely grateful for the company that I work for. Magnum is so financially secure. We don't operate on any borrowed money. It's just extremely secure footing in the industry. We're not a real big company, but all the solvency is pretty much unbelievable. And we got buku freight. We've always had more freight than we could ever haul. I drive for Magnum Ltd., which is actually, that is our OTR fleet of 300 trucks, and we're actually the smallest footprint of the company. The company is actually pretty good size. Our logistics company is a whole, I don't even know the size of the logistics company, but you've got Magnum Logistics, Magnum LTL, you've got a Magnum group of companies. The OTR fleet's just kind of the owner's private baby, and that's how he started, and we're definitely spoiled, absolutely rotten. So I feel absolutely blessed for that. Also, the kind of freight that we haul is absolutely essential in this time of crisis. We're still running freight just like we always have. Now, the company did put out a message last week, a little over a week ago, that said that they understand due to the situation and what's going on, that any drivers that wanted to go home and just be with their family till all this blew over, that they wouldn't hold anything against them, and they totally understood. And if they wanted to go home, go home. And when it's all over with, come on back and we'll get back running. But after that email went out, I waited for 3 or 4 days, And then I started calling everybody I knew in the company, and I wanted to find out who actually went home. I didn't find one single driver that went home. Everybody's staying out. Some of us are still taking their home time. I personally, I just plan on staying out until all this is over with. A lot of people are worried about they might be exposed to something and then take it home to their families. So they just want to stay out until it's all over with. But, you know, like our freight, I was supposed to be underneath a different load than the one I'm under right now. We got in here to Cleveland, Ohio at 7 o'clock this morning was our drop. We were out of there by 8:30. And I knew that the dispatchers were coming in at 8. They had about a 30-minute meeting, so they'd be available about 8:30. And I was looking for my next load out of here, trying to get loaded before noon and be gone. You know, the dispatchers weren't. I normally have loads, you know, a day or two before, but, you know, coming out of the weekend, it is what it is. But it's generally no problem. They generally get me turned around and loaded real Ricky tick, and off we go. So I wasn't sweating it. But this morning when I called in and finally got a hold of a dispatcher and my DM told me that the shipper that I was supposed to be hauling a load for was actually 48 hours behind schedule. So they canceled the load. Magnum canceled the load. And they had a dispatcher that was working his tail off. Matter of fact, every truck that was in Ohio from Magnum was actually scheduled for a return load from this one shipper. And when they said the shipper was behind by 48 hours, they just canceled all the Magnum loads. And we started grabbing other freight. And I actually got underneath a hazmat load that even pays more money. So, I mean, it is what it is. So I'm hauling hazmat on the way back to Minneapolis. Here it is, working for one of the best companies in the United States. We're not slowing down a bit. We haul essential freight. We haul mainly frozen food. We also haul medical supplies, and we also haul hazmat. So we are just going. We have no problems with freight. But like the video you saw earlier, here we are in a pilot. It's, what is it, going on 10 o'clock now? I don't know, something like that. But, yeah, 9:41. But this parking lot, I would say, I know is well over a third that's empty. That end of it down there is just absolutely empty. A lot of the reserve spots are empty. Why would you pay for a reserve spot tonight? I mean, you got so many easy spots to hit and the place is wide open. I mean, come on, guys. It's a weeknight. And when we come into this place, what time did we get here? About 7-ish?
6, almost.
Was it 6?
7.
But
yeah,
the place was basically empty, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. It was empty. And when I was in the pilot, I was talking to the lady behind the counter, and she was telling me that a whole lot of drivers have gone home. That either they don't have the freight to run, or they've chose to go home. I don't know what that situation is. I pray to God it's not the latter, that people are going home when our country actually needs us the way that it does right now. But I feel absolutely blessed. I've got a great job working for a great company. I'm not going to have any slowdown at all through this, and we're just going to keep boogieing. Nobody knows what tomorrow brings. You know, tomorrow's not promised. But it looks like we're just going to keep boogieing through. As a matter of fact, y'all may know I wave that Magnum banner pretty hard, and I'm pretty active in recruiting for the company. And I talked to the recruiter for the company last. I used to be able to say that we only had one recruiter. We've now got two. Two recruiters. But one recruiter is mainly dedicated for building the fleet that we're doing in Chicago. So our national recruiter, I think that would still be Tony. I don't know if that's exactly the way. That's the way. I'm kind of reading into it. That's the way that works. But Tony said last week that Magnum has continued to just hold the course of what we're doing. We're not going to slow down at all. As a matter of fact, we're still holding orientation. We're still hiring. Just business as usual for us. And I was meaning to talk to Tony. Well, I did. I talked to Tony over a month ago, and we were talking about me doing this video that I was actually going to expose what my annual income was with Magnum. And because of the things that have happened over the last couple of weeks, every time I get to do it, I don't get the opportunity. So I'm going to expose a little bit of it. I don't know, should I expose that, or should I do a whole nother video for that? You don't know, you have no input. See, trainees, man, they're no help whatsoever. So I do have a trainee on the truck right now. His name is Gary, and you actually watched a lot of the YouTube videos before you come to Magnum, didn't you?
Fuel, yeah.
And you still weren't scared as me as a recruiter. I mean, as a...
I didn't say I wasn't scared.
Oh, didn't say you were scared. I'm not an easy trainer, am I?
You do a great job.
I train hard. I take my job very seriously, but I'm not easy.
It's not supposed to be easy. I'm here to learn.
Exactly. We got 30 days to turn you into the best truck driver we possibly can, and we're going to take every advantage of doing that. We did a backing drill today, and I don't know, what did we spend there? Maybe 30 minutes. I mean, it wasn't a long amount of time.
It was good, though. It was good practical training.
Very productive, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen that type of backing drill done before?
No. School was always cones.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no cones.
There's no cones in the real world, right?
No.
I'm going to tell you, when I was learning to drive a truck, I was known as the #1 cone killer. Yeah, I could flatten a cone like nobody's business.
Yeah.
But we were actually doing real world training, backing. We were doing a form of straight backing, but it wasn't straight, was it?
Not when I was doing it.
I wouldn't go there. But what I do is getting a driver used to driving straight back, and actually, and when you're going to school, to learn how to get your CDL, there's all this movement with the wheel, and it's actually over driving the truck. But I want to teach you real world how to drive backwards. So we actually put our hand up here at 12 o'clock, and we find a great big old long strip for you to learn. And one of the things I keep saying is, the less the input, the better the back. And so what I do is I set him up on a big long street, and he just drives his tandems right down the center line of the street backwards for about a block. And then we pull forward and we do it over. And as soon as I see that the movement is getting soft on the steering wheel, and he's keeping the truck pretty much in order on a straight back, then we start messing it up. I take the truck away from him, take it up, and I set it up at an angle and tell him to back until he gets his tandems, and then follow the line. and do that from both directions, mainly on the driver's side at different angles, and get the truck out of sorts and the trailer out of sorts. And we do that for a while until he's able to feed the trailer onto the line and then hold the line. And then I actually have him pull the entire truck and trailer into the wrong lane and then pitch it over to a black side and then cock the tractor out of sorts, and so that the trailer is absolutely pointed in the wrong direction, throw it in reverse and drive it backwards onto the line into a straight back. So those were the things that we were working today. Pretty challenging stuff though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was good.
Did you notice though did you notice the difference though between backing a truck and driving backwards?
Mm-hmm.
That's different, isn't it?
Yeah, smooth it out.
Yeah, just get smooth with it. I was absolutely amazed here at Gary. We took him into the yard, what was it, night before last? In Coon Rapids.
I think so.
And, we have a lot of warehouse space there. We have an LTL. So we've got probably, I don't know, 120 doors, docks in Magnum LTL. I know there's got to be at least 120 doors in there. Anyway, it's a huge facility. But I picked one dock that it was 2 empty spaces. I'd make it easy for him at first, and I taught him real world how we do a standard 90-degree driver's side back into a door. And it was cramped. I mean, we had trailers stacked all out in the middle to where you actually couldn't do a full 90 out and a full 90 back to set up the trailer to come in. You could almost get a full 90 on the first turn, but not quite, so you had to stretch it out just a little bit. So it was tight. Like what you do in a regular tight hole if you were kind of in a cramped space. So I set him up for it, thinking that, man, this is going to be really difficult. I demonstrated once, and I think I even did a couple of pull-ups to get straight up in the hole. And so I turned Gary in over to do it. His first time into the hole, I think you might have did one pull-up. But then like his second, third, and fourth time into the hole, it was just smooth, no pull-ups, and he made me look like a chump, man. This kid ain't real, man. He ain't real.
Yeah, that today I can't straight back.
Right. He does a 5 90-degree driver's side backs into a door. Perfect. I mean, anybody would have been proud of backing in there. I don't care who you are. And then today he couldn't straight line back into a hole. I mean, but that's the way it is. And like to tell everybody, even the most seasoned driver that is just the ultimate backer has those days that you just can't do it. I always talk about it's like shooting pool. You can be the best pool shark in the world, and then you'll come on to one day and you just can't make a shot. So here Gary is training. You want to get on camera for a second?
Nah, that's okay.
You don't want to be on camera?
No, I'm shy.
He's real pretty. Oh,
Thank you, though.
what?
Thank you, though.
Thanks, but no thanks. But so what do you think? See, here Gary is. There's a pandemic, a national crisis, and you're out here doing your 30 days of training in this.
Perfect timing.
Well, you're getting to kind of see it all, isn't you?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about some of the things that you've done. You've drove the mountains. You've drove the Rockies.
Yes.
How many days have you driven in snow or blizzard or adverse weather condition?
I think every day.
Most of them, right? Most of them. And, a lot of guys are scared to death to come out in training in winter because they're scared to death to drive on the snow and ice. And last night you were driving through a blizzard, and how fast were you running?
You told me to slow down.
I did. Because he was comfortable at 64 mile an hour driving through a blizzard. And I even told him, I said, you know, if you really want to know how hard it's snowing out there, flip your high beams on. He flipped his high beams on, and it was like everything coming at us. I'm like, yeah, you can turn them off now. And you might want to slow the truck down to about 60 mile an hour. But you've gotten comfortable driving in the weather, haven't you?
Yeah, that wasn't bad because I could tell the roads weren't really getting too slick.
They weren't. It wasn't sticking hard on the road. Now, we did come out of Bismarck.
Yeah, when I know that there could be some ice, that's when I get a little nervous.
The worst thing that you can ever drive on is an absolute sheet of black ice.
Yep.
And do you know how much time and experience you actually have at driving on an absolute sheet of black ice?
More than I'd like.
I know, right? More than you like. Good answer. Good answer. We come out of Bismarck, and it was treacherous. It was one of the worst conditions I had ever seen. And I left you in the seat for what? Half hour, 45 minutes?
Yeah.
On the black ice?
Yeah.
Now we were creeping. I mean, we were doing what, 30 mile an hour, 35?
Just enough to
scare the bejesus out of you.
Well, to make sure we got up those hills, so you couldn't really power up. You needed momentum to get up the hills.
And what was crazy is we come to a point where I said, okay, that's enough. Let me get in the seat. I was going to take him away from it. So I told him to pull over to the curb. You pull over on the shoulder. And he creeps over there on the shoulder, and he gets stopped. And the trailer's still out in the road just a little bit, and he comes to a complete stop. And I'm like, look at your trailer. Do you remember what happened?
It moved.
He come to a complete stop, and after he stopped, the trailer moved about 4 or 5 feet to the right. And he was going, oh my God, the trailer's moving.
Scary, man.
We're on absolute ice. But you know, people don't realize it. You drive for Magnum. You're an ice road trucker. We drive in the snow. And you know what? That was one of the reasons why I chose this company, is I knew that they were up north, way up north, and they drove the winters on the ice and the snow. And I did not know how to do that. I had never done that in my previous experience driving a truck. And I thought, you know, if I'm going to be a company driver for a year or two, why not learn how to drive on the snow and ice in somebody else's truck instead of my own, right?
Smart.
So I come to Magnum, and yeah, my first 2 years, I averaged over 40,000 miles a year on snow and ice. 1 year, I did not see pavement for over 4 months.
Oh, my goodness.
And you get so... the worst thing you can do is get comfortable. And I'll tell you, the first year you don't have to worry about, all right? We're going to teach you how to run on the snow and the ice, and the first year you're going to be, you know, you're going to be butt puckered and so safe and so cautious that you're not going to mistake the first year. What happens, though, is you feel like you're all that, and you get cocky the second year, and you stick one in the ditch.
Hey.
So it's not the first year we're worried about you driving on the snow and ice. It's the second year when you think that you can just run big guns down the road like big dogs, and that's when you get in trouble. So you gotta always have absolute respect for the weather. And even though a lot of us here at Magnum, we run in the adverse conditions, we still leave it up to you. You're the captain of your ship. If you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel safe, park it. And nobody is going to give you a hard time about it. Just wait till in the morning when the dispatchers get in, call them up and say, hey, I ran into weather last night. I had to park it. There's no way I can make my delivery time. Reschedule my load. There's nobody going to give you any crap over that. That's just part of doing business. We don't want you to endanger yourself. We don't want you to endanger our equipment. we can reschedule the delivery of a load. It is not important that it get there at such and such time. We can handle that. What would you say is the biggest surprise to you about all this? You know, because everybody comes in to truck driving, they think they know what it is. You know, they got this picture in their mind of what it is. What would you say was the shocking reality once you got out here and running on a trailer truck? I mean, you've been out here, what, 10 days now?
Yeah.
So what was the shocking reality?
I guess I got two, if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Might be silly. Sleeping in the truck. It's not that bad. You know what? Because you hear about the reefer, and the APU, it's going to make all this noise. I sleep fine.
Right.
That doesn't bother my sleep. Honestly, I think it helps because it's kind of white noise.
Right.
In a sense, so whatever else is going on in the parking lot drowns that out, and I sleep. So, and I like my sleep. So that's awesome. And the other thing, I've never showered at a truck stop before. And these showers are nicer than the ones I have at home.
Yeah.
You know, the water pressure's amazing. They're really nice showers. You get, yeah. So, and when you're out here, it's getting a good shower makes you feel a whole lot better. So
it's actually, this job is as much about the lifestyle as it is the job.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is a lifestyle.
It's a cool lifestyle. There's good people out here. A lot of people I run into, they acknowledge you and give you the what's up, you know,
Now, I will tell you, the last 10 days, because of what's going on in the country, a lot of things have changed. The other day, we stopped and we made a Walmart run, and I went into the bathroom to use the bathroom, and after I use the bathroom, I'm in there washing my hands real good and everything. And a young man, about 11 years old, come up to me. And of course, I always wear Peterbilt gear. You know, every time I go to a Peterbilt dealership, I buy their hats and their hoodies and everything. So I'm in Peterbilt gear, and I'm washing my hands, and this 11-year-old young man, he goes, so you're a truck driver? And I go, yes, I am. He goes, you drive a Peterbilt? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I absolutely do. And he goes, you like it? And I said, who doesn't like a Peterbilt, right? And I'm going to delete that call. And I said, absolutely. Look, he's like asking me what year it is and all this kind of information. All interested about my truck. So all of a sudden, truck drivers are treated with respect, and not only respect, but a certain level of glory. I mean, I'm getting all kinds of messages from people saying, thank you, we're so grateful for what you do. You know, it almost reminds me of my military service. And people are going out of their way to be nice to us and courteous, and it's actually like all of a sudden the public woke up to the fact of what we actually do for them. So it's a little different, okay?
It's like a truck is the new cape.
I know, right? It's super trucker. A new, used to super trucker was a bad term. Now it's super trucker. Dun, da, da, da.
To the rescue.
I know, it's almost hilarious.
Those people on the side of the road were doing give us the honk.
Yeah, the arm pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, driving down the road, getting the arm pump from people off the side of the road. And yeah, it's
fun.
It's a good thing. We are having to take a lot of cautions to keep ourselves clean and all that bit. As a matter of fact, can't wait to get into Coon Rapids. How many surgical gloves we got left over there?
I don't know, a handful.
a handful, and we only got one more day, 600 miles. So we might stop for fuel once. I doubt it. We filled up for fuel earlier. So we definitely got enough gloves. We definitely wear surgical gloves when we get out and we fuel the truck. That's an absolute must. Depending on what you're doing, like when we go in and take showers, we don't wear surgical gloves. We go in, take our shower, scrub up, get cleaned up and everything, wash your hands really good, take a shower, right? Also known, you know what we call it in trucking? We don't call it taking a shower. Do you know that?
No, but I'm a rookie.
Yeah,
so
you want to know what the term is for taking a shower?
Yeah. What?
Washing your ass, driver. It's time to wash your ass. So when we go in to take our shower, now we get all clean and everything, and then when we come out of the shower, don't touch anything with your hands. Walk out and don't touch anything with your hands till you get back in the truck. And even then, what do you do before you climb in the truck?
Sanitize.
Sanitize your hands. We have hand sanitize dispensers in both doors. So when you open the door, the first thing you do is sanitize your hands before you climb in the truck, before you leave the ground. So we're doing everything we can to stay healthy. We're even doing our, there was a deal that we saw about the coronavirus actually generally multiplies in your throat for a period of about 4 days before it moves into your lungs. And while it's in your lungs, if you drink vinegar and lemon will kill the coronavirus on contact. So we actually have our coronavirus cocktail. Now we do 4 ounces of water, 3 to 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with Mother's, 1 full squeezed lemon, and sometimes I'll put honey or a little turmeric in it just for taste and health benefits. And we stir that up real good and drink it down. So if we have that virus currently in our throat, it'd kill it on contact and it wouldn't move into our lungs. There was actually a couple of doctors that did a study on that and said that actually works very well. And that's what's most dangerous about that virus is when it mutates, not mutates, but anyway, when it moves into your lungs, that's when it really gets dangerous. So that's why you prevent that. So we have our coronavirus cocktail first thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yummers, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And we also do it about 30 minutes before we hit the rack at night. And and I was thinking about it, I wanted to get at least 10 days supply with lemons, and lemons go bad. But with 2 guys in the truck, that means 4 lemons a day. That was 40 lemons. So I asked Gary to pick up the lemons, and he picks up 40 lemons, and he shows up with his carton. It's like, my God, dude, is that 40? And he goes, yeah, that's 40. I never bought 40 lemons before. Gary actually bought the lemons. He did. And they were like, what were they, did you say, 56 cents a piece?
At Walmart.
That's cheap, because every time I bought lemons, they were like 65 cents a piece. So during this period of time, they were actually cheaper, so it was a good deal. But we got our truck well stocked. We got at least 3 weeks worth of food on the truck. We've trying to maintain 4 cases of water. We're about emptied our number 4th case right now, so we got 3 full cases left. So we're keeping 4 cases of water on the truck at all times. So when we empty a case, we'll buy another one. What else? That's really pretty much all that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We still need to spray the truck down with Lysol more often than what we've done. But I think we're doing everything. I think we're going to get through all this nice, healthy, and safe. We have very little contact with the outside world. I think we're going to be just fine. You have any reservations about it?
No.
No, we're doing it to it. How many days left to your solo trip?
19 tomorrow.
That's a guy that's going through training. Anytime,
I'm checking them off up there.
I know. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, because I think the hardest part of becoming a truck driver is not getting your CDL, not all those kind of things. I think the hardest part is 30 days on a truck with a trainer. Would you agree?
Yeah, but I'm sure you're a lot better than many other trainers. So I'm blessed to be with you for sure.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way. What did we end that last segment with? Oh, the fact that you felt absolutely blessed and all that good stuff, and then it just went blip.
And you're saying what an amazing trainee I am.
Yeah, that's the ticket. That's what we were talking about. Yeah, Gary's a really great guy, you see. That's it. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. We're going to keep running this freight. We're going to keep doing our job. We're going to feed America. We're going to do the things that everybody expects us to be, and we're going to be super truckers.
To the rescue.
To the rescue. Hey, y'all have a great night. God bless each and every one. Remember, you too can change the world. All you got to do is be nice to each other. Bye-bye.